Hello. Right, so I am, because I'm not doing social media for 7 days, I wanted to ensure that I am still reaching out to those of you that find help in the videos that I put out there. So although I may not be coming out on a FaceTime live, I can at least reach you in some way for just my little gift to you to try and help you get through these unprecedented times. Now, the subject I want to do for As Such Day 1 is I want to get across the importance of changing your habits from what they once were. So it's not about you becoming a soldier every day and you transforming your life and you not feeling the stress and the strain of what's happening. Isn't going to be possible. So my element for today is that it's very important that you incorporate first thing in the morning a pattern of behaviour. Now, how I want to explain this is, let me give you an analogy. So for example, if you are out in a boat and there are a number of you in a boat and you suddenly find that you've got a leak in the boat and the ship is sinking as such. And let's say, for example, you're a writer and you are an excellent writer, and 2 days before, whilst you were out in the boat, you scribbled something down, a poem of reflection, and whilst boredom was ensuing everybody in the boat, you wrote out a story and told them a story. That's your skill set. That's what you brought to the table. And in that day, before you had the hole in the boat, that pen you used and that piece of paper and that skill set was extremely useful for that time. But now you've got a hole in the boat and it's a little bit more, there's a bit more of an urgency towards it. The pen ain't gonna cut it really, is it? And the piece of paper ain't gonna cut it when you're in the water. And the analogy I want to give to you is, we need to reach for a different skill set. So ordinarily you'll get up in the morning and you're used to bringing out your pen and your piece of paper and dealing with your emotions in that way by writing down. Well, it ain't gonna cut it because we're in a global crisis right now. So what I want to do is I want to give you the life jacket, the new tool in your box for you to be able to reach for when you can't reach for that pen and paper that ordinarily you would go to, if that analogy fits. So I want to give you the life jacket for you to put in your toolbox to be able to reach for. You won't reach for it all the time, because, or all day, every moment of every day, because you'll reach for your pen and paper because that's who you are and that's what you do and that's your thing in time of crisis. But I want to add a tool to your box for you. So the first point I want to give you today is changing the habits of a lifetime. And this is vital. So you may have a set pattern of behaviour. You may have your routine that you stick to. And what you'll be doing right now is you'll be clinging on to that routine for dear life at the moment while the ship is sinking. And in normal times, that is what gets you through. That is what sees you through the moments. And that in normal times will do you well. However, it ain't going to do you well all day, every day through this crisis. And you may well be inwardly sinking, gripping onto your habit with dear life or your pattern of behaviour that you normally do every day. But internally it isn't going to be working because deep down inside, your human skill set inside is to understand when you need fight or flight. It'll be gripping onto that habit of behaviour, but it can't utilise it because you're not in normal pattern of behaviour. So the tool I want to give you is to change, the actual tool itself is to change your daily habits. Even if you're still going out to work, it doesn't matter. We are still in unprecedented times. You need a different toolkit. So I want to give you a habit in the morning of, and I posted a video about this on my Facebook a little while ago. Some of you may not have, most of you probably haven't watched it, but it's important. And what it is it's about waking up in the morning and putting in place a total different routine. So if you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is make your bed, I want you to swap that around, and I want you to maybe go and have your shower first and do your teeth. Swap your pattern around. So if a year ago your pattern of behaviour was get up, make the bed first, go in the shower, brush your teeth, get dressed, come downstairs, have your cup of coffee, swing it around for me and give this a go and just open your mind to this. So I want to give you one routine. So for me, first thing I do is not make my bed in the morning. I would first of all go straight downstairs and have some water, have a coffee or whatever, sit down and just group myself for the day ahead. Currently what I'm doing is I am getting up, I am making the bed, I am getting straight in the shower, I am getting myself ready, doing my teeth, and I am tidying up upstairs before I head downstairs. Now, if I can't do that, if my husband's working late and he's still in bed, I can't actually do that. So what I'm doing is I'm going straight into the shower and I'm doing the bits I can do, but which are outside of my normal pattern of routine. So what happens inside of you is your insides go, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, okay, so this isn't normal. This isn't what we normally do here. So what we're doing here. But what you're doing is you're still taking control of your daily habits of behaviour. So instead of getting up, making a cup of tea and putting the news on, let me really get across to you how bad that is right now for you to do to yourself. Or if you normally pick up your phone and scroll through Facebook, don't do that anyway, please don't do that anyway. Please at least give it an hour or two before, no matter even if you're coping right now, please don't do that. So what this is about in times of lack of control, so we can't do a lot about this, can we? We can only do what we can do, i.e. self-isolate or go out to work or hit the front line and help as many people as we can. Whatever it is we're doing, we still have very little control, don't we, over this? It's an invisible virus that we have very little control over. So what it's about is it's about telling your central nervous system, but hang on a minute, even in lack of control, I still am taking control. But you don't want to take control by staying within your usual pattern of behaviour, because your internal system ain't thick, okay? So it's still aware there's a threat, and that's the key here. Your internal processing system knows there is an actual real threat. So it's not like we feel stressed because we're usually anxious, but there isn't really a threat out there. So it's about us sticking within a habit of behaviour and telling ourselves, actually, there isn't a threat. This time there is a threat, but it's about how you can take control over that threat, even though you have no control over it. So your body will be in fight or flight because there's a threat, number one. Number two, it will feel no control over the threat. Well, if you're in self-isolation, you are in control of that threat. Globally, we've got to hand the control over to the experts, haven't we? Which, let's be honest, a lot of us find very difficult. I find it quite easy myself, handing control over to experts, because I'm quite a trusting character. So I'm okay doing that. I'm okay handing over. I do understand that there are some underlying factors. We don't really know where the virus came from, how it's taken, what the universal element is to this. But you know what? I still have an overriding trust that this will find its way through the darkness. That is who I am. I'm an optimist. But for those pessimists out there that find that ordinarily difficult and that sit within conspiracy theories or distrust, your internal system is not going to be coping right now. So it's about you overriding that and telling your internal system, actually, there is some control that I have over this. So the way you override that is, number one, change your pattern of behaviour. Number two, put in a pattern of behaviour. You must put in an actual habit of behaviour as soon as you get up. So as soon as your mind switches on to, coronavirus, what you're doing is you're instantly overriding that inner panic, that inner fear, that inner loss of control, and taking some control. It may only be small. You may say, how is me not brushing my teeth as soon as I get up and brushing them half an hour later, how is that going to make any difference whatsoever to coronavirus? Well, the point is, it's not, is it? But it is to your internal system. Because if you put in a different pattern of behaviour, your brain and your central nervous system are going to be fighting their own inner battle. So hear this, it's going to be in its own inner crisis because you're changing a habit of behaviour. Now, if you don't have a usual pattern of behaviour in the morning, put one in place, because that in itself is changing your usual pattern of behaviour. So put in a very regimented routine in the morning when you first get up. So internally, you've then got your own inner crisis going on. And then what happens is, because they're small actions of behaviour, brushing your teeth, you can manage. Well, yes, I know, but I brush my teeth at 7 a.m. Well, don't. Put yourself in inner crisis and go, well, oh no, I can't not brush my teeth at 7 o'clock. Oh, I can't have that. Well, do it. Try it. And override that inner feeling and need to control what time you brush your teeth. Put yourself in inner crisis. And the very fact that you then override that, but in safe territory, brushing your teeth at 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. will be an inner crisis, but it's not a crisis, is it? So actually what you're doing is you're conning your inner self into a crisis scenario, but you're taking the control over it. So what that does to the central nervous system is it puts you back in the driving seat. And it may be fictitious, but it doesn't matter. Your central nervous system is not aware of coronavirus. It's just aware there's a threat. Well, con yourself into the threat of not brushing your teeth at 7 a.m. and take the control. And control your emotions by taking control over the small actions of your day. So try that. Try that for the foreseeable future of the uncertain times that we're in, and take the control in. Don't over condition yourself, so don't put in every single minute of every single day, put in a habit of behaviour. I'm just talking a morning routine. So that's in how you get ready, in how you go out to work, in how you stay in how you set yourself tasks for the day. If you're setting yourself tasks, give yourself a little bit of freedom instead of setting yourself an actual rigid routine. So maybe put in your habit, your jobs you want doing that day, but don't set times for them. So what we're doing is we're taking yourself out of your comfort zone, but taking control of that. So try that. I'm not on Facebook to answer your questions, but I am on Messenger or text. So if you need my help, reach out to me. I'm here for you. And I will post another video tomorrow. So keep going, keep isolating. We will come through this because we have to come through this. We have the whole world together on it now. So try and have a productive day.